Hi everybody. I thought it would be time I give you an update on what's going on with me. So, I've been having a lot of fun and joyful and all of the normal things you see that I post, like all of that is real. That is totally me. But then in the quiet moments or behind the scenes, there's actually been a lot going on in the last 4 weeks, maybe just under 4 weeks. So right now, as you can tell, I'm actually in the ED at the RAH. I've been a real mess, mental health wise, and I don't want to scare those of you who knew me 25, 30 years ago, but those are the kind of reasons why I'm actually in here tonight. About 3 weeks ago, I had somebody that I looked up to as a mentor, as a spiritual guide, not as in New Age spiritual guide, but just someone who I could look up to for spiritual wisdom and maturity. And he's an older man, and something happened with a friend of mine, with two friends of mine, and I've been trying to support both sides. However, this old man who loves one of the people, the person who actually did something really wrong, as in go to the police kind of wrong, he's been dismissing what this person did, and it's been really hard trying to support this person while there are other men, older men in their 60s and 70s, so usually around 65 to 75 years old, completely undoing and dismissing all the work that I've done with this poor friend, and also with the other friend who I adore. I'm not going to say what's happened. All I'm going to say is that legally things had to be done, and I've been ostracized. This man sent me an email that was so incredibly nasty. So nasty. He shredded my character, then he burnt it, then he danced on the ashes. Like, that's how bad it was. And for the first time in over 25 years, my skin started tingling. That's always a bad sign, but I haven't felt that in like 25 years. So this really scared me. I told my dad. I told my dad and two other people, and they spent, especially him and one other person, a lot of time talking me down from the ledge. I'm not suicidal, but those of you who know me know that I have a history of self-injury, and I don't really hide it, because I think if others know that they're not alone, then I think that's why I've gone through this stuff, so I can support other people. But I've also trained in mental health a lot. And so these men, they were completely discrediting me. All of them godly, well, I thought were godly men. The one who sent me the email just kept sending emails, even though I begged him to stop, like to just have no contact. He came up to me in the city one time, and I just started crying and saying, no, go away, please, just leave me alone. You're scaring me. And and he just didn't. And then he made some pretty horrible comments behind my back once I had left, because he wasn't leaving, so I had to. It's just continued and continued, and the original issue is not even the issue for me anymore. Like, I feel that's sort of being dealt with. I know that things are happening behind the scenes. So I'm trusting that the steps are being taken. And anyway, that person also told me one of these men who pretty much declared he had to tell everybody about what this person did is now telling the person who involved that I'm the one going around telling everybody. And yeah, I have proof, I have witnesses to back me when I said to him, come on, can't we just not tell everybody? Can't we just let them know there are some mental health issues that he needs to deal with and leave it at that? And he was like, no, Linda, everybody needs to know so he won't be tempted. And I'm just like, this is unbelievable. But yeah, he's telling the person who did this thing that I'm telling, like, I'm spreading it, basically. So he's lying to his face. That was devastating to find out. The emails just don't stop. I finally got one today. Like, the emails that are so nasty, he's justifying himself in them. This is the other guy. He completely keeps justifying his actions. And there's a lot more I could say about that. But there was one email where he kind of apologised, but it was the kind of apology you give someone when you bump into them as you're walking past. It was one of those, it was so non-committal, it was barely an apology. And he knows how much I've been struggling. He knows that I have been looking for tools again. Makes no difference. He just keeps tearing me down. And I'm just gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked by these two men. They have completely lost all credibility with me. There is not one speck of respect or trust left in me for either man. And yeah, there are going to be pretty big consequences, not just for them and me, but I can't say anymore because I don't want to identify things and stuff. Anyway, sorry, my arm hurts, my shoulder. So over the weekend, it was an amazing weekend, but it was also horrible. I don't know how you can have two different things be going on, contradictory things at the same time. So we had all the Easter services, which were incredible. I cancelled going to my dear friends up at Harndorf because I'm just so empty. And my body's sick because of all the stress. My head is clearly sick. And I ended up going to Bonnie's church on Easter Sunday evening, and I got baptised, which was incredible. But then the next day, things started with Mick. And I knew that I'd be under spiritual attack. I knew that. But Mick was a whole different kind of angry that I've seen in a long time. And it just went on and on from Monday to when he woke up to this afternoon. And I was just starting to really lose it. I messaged his NDIS service provider begging for help. Twice I said in there, I need help. And they basically, for a Monday night, just slammed the door in my face over text saying, well, if you won't get out of bed, what can we do? I'm thinking, well, one of your workers who I know has left there, she used to come in and encourage him to get up. But no, apparently they don't do that. She also said, we've tried to offer help, but you haven't wanted it. And it's like, are you kidding? It's just slap one side, slap the other. Obviously getting no support there. Yesterday morning, Mick was pretty horrible again. I rang a friend that I've known nearly 30 years, at a minimum 25 years. And I was crying and left a voice message saying, look, your place is the only place that I feel safe right now. Can I come over after an appointment I've got this afternoon? And she was like, yeah, of course. The only thing is, when I got there, Like, I told her some of my plans. I didn't tell her an actual time that I was arriving, but I told her that I had some stuff to do before I get there that I'm going to do on the way because I need daylight for it. So she just messages back, well, we're starting to cook dinner. And I'm like, oh, and she also messaged, when we have nothing to do during the day, we're hungry by 5 o'clock. I'm thinking, when I'm there, they often don't eat till 7:30, 8:30 sometimes. And now all of a sudden she's pulling this 5 p.m. thing. I'm like, well, that's weird. And I looked at the time and it was just after 5. So I abandoned my errands and I got on the very first tram, which was like only a minute I had to wait. Get there, they're eating, didn't bother to wait, didn't bother to text me, how long will you be? Just pure selfish rudeness. Anyway, after that, I mean, they do cook really delicious food and I was able to eat some. But after that, they then began mocking me because of my beliefs. Now, we're all Christian, and yet they're mocking me because I believe in the 6-day creation, because I believe the world began 6,000 years ago. And that's all backed up by scripture. And there were other things, and she just completely mocked me for at least 15 minutes, 3 times in that. I said, please stop. I didn't come here for this. And eventually her husband joined in, and then I started crying, and I said, look, I'm just going to go. I did not come here for this. Well, what did you come here for? I don't know which one of them said that, but she knew, because I'd said to her, I just need a safe place for a few hours where I know I'm not going to get put down. I'm not going to get torn to shreds. I'm not going to have rage shoved in my face or, the one person I thought I could go to, and they spent 15 to 20 minutes just mocking me. And then they had to calm me down because I was crying and upset and was wanting to go. They talked me out of it and I stayed. I think all up I was there for about 3 hours. But I felt pretty shit the whole time. And even today, it's really hurt me. So after urgent care, like the appointment that I had yesterday was with Sonda to do a chronic health something plan to do with my chronic pain and stuff. They told me about a place in Elizabeth that is a walk-in mental health place. So I went this evening and they basically said, look, maybe you need to go to ED. So I did. I've come to the RAH ED and they're the only ones that make me feel safe right now. There is no one here that's going to mock me. There's no one here that's going to scream in my face. There's no one here that's going to send me horrible emails. There's no one here that's going to spread lies about me. Like, I've tried so hard to not let this stuff affect me. And I've been scared and shocked that it's 25 years down the track and I'm back in emergency for mental health reasons. It beggars belief. And anyway, then around 11 o'clock tonight, while I'm waiting, I get a text from the husband from last night, basically saying they are so sick and tired of hearing all my dramas and basically just leave them alone. Because his wife, yes, she has a lot of health issues, but you know what? They are freaking hard work. And I visit them at least once a week because sometimes if I don't, I get so many voice messages that I can't deal with. I go over there once a week because I genuinely love her and I kind of tolerate him. Not now. They've made it very clear where they stand. I was an absolute mess and I messaged back something with some curse words in it, like, well, it's a good thing I'm in the F&ED when I received this, isn't it? I was devastated, absolutely devastated. And I know that they probably mean give us a break, But he literally demanded I not bring up my brother, I not bring up Bonnie, like the two most important people in my life. I not bring up anybody who is involved in all these dramas. I'm like, well, what the hell am I allowed to say? Oh, hello. Do you want me to stroke your egos? Probably, because they've always thought they're better than me because they're academic. But you know what? I've decided that's it. I don't care if he meant permanently or not. I'm done. They have hurt me to the nth degree. And it really was a blessing that I was in emergency when it happened. The triage nurse came out and talked with me for ages. He was so lovely. If I'd received that at home, that one would have definitely tipped me over the edge and I would have probably hurt myself. It's been hard thinking about all the old strategies that I used to use to fight things like hurting myself. I'm just glad that I'm here, and I'm really praying that they admit me for a week or something just so I can get away from everything and just rest. Like, clearly I'm really sick. I've had a low-grade sore throat for the whole time this has been going on. And then yesterday, it went up like 10 notches, and now my glands are mega swollen, and I'm really not well. So I actually have to go because I just need to drink and drink and drink. I've got water, I've got ice. They're helping me, keeping me supplied with ice, so that's good. The internet here is really, really slow, so I probably won't be able to upload this till maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but at least you know where I am and what's happening. And I would ask if you could pray for me, pray for Mick, pray for everybody involved in all these scenarios, all the dramas. We really need God in all of it. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I just hope they hurry up and get me to see a doctor so they can give me antibiotics or something. Yeah, urgent care did nothing. They did do a rat test and said I don't have COVID. I don't have, it was a 3-in-1. They said I'm negative for everything. But, yeah, I just want something. I'm definitely sick with something. I can feel my sinuses and, it's horrible. Anyway, thank you for listening this far. And, yeah, it's not the best news. I still have moments of pure joy, like today with the rain, but it's getting harder to fight the thoughts, and it's getting harder to let those horrible things that those people have said about me, which are not true, and I have witnesses to back up everything, but still, when they attack you so badly, and not just them, now someone I thought of as one of my best friends, someone I thought of as almost a sister, doing it as well. It's just like, I feel so betrayed by so many people that I loved. And yeah, it's crushed my trust in them. It's crushed my respect. The couple from last night, I've blocked them on text. I've not yet deleted them on Facebook. I sent the wife a message in Messenger saying I can't bring myself yet to delete you and block you here, but I will mute you and I will unpin you from the top of my Messenger. And I'm probably going to end up blocking them. I do see that she's sent 2 messages. Don't want to read them. Don't want to read them. She's probably going to be like, oh, poor Linda, no, that's not what we meant, and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? You and your husband wrote that with the intention of hurting me, because he even said, I know this is going to hurt you. Who does that? So now I've lost all respect for them. They are definitely not safe people anymore. Not that he really was, but it was her. She was safe. She was a safe haven for me, and her home was a sanctuary. No, it's gone. It's ripped to shreds. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm really thirsty. Thanks for listening. Bye. Ness just came and did obs. I've got a temperature now. I didn't earlier today, but I do now. So she's going to try and get me some Panadol for that. Yeah. The other thing that I actually forgot to mention before was that this friend from last night, she was there during part of my cutting years, way back in my early 20s. So the fact that I had told her I'm having those thoughts again, and yet her and her husband still sent that nasty text. What kind of friend is that? Do you know what I mean? What kind of people do I have in my life? This is crazy. Crazy. So yeah, I think it's time I press delete on a few people in my life. Anyway, I'll keep you updated.